观众朋友们，这下可真的是彻底把美国官方给看傻了眼。本来这次只是想找一个中国选手来证明美国选手的实力，顺便再打开中国的市场。但是他们却万万没有想到，中国官方直接来了个大的，找来了身高2.13米的中国巨人董建军。那本来打算长自己士气灭中国选手威风的美国官方，这次算是彻底的栽了跟头，让董建军直接1穿3，震惊整个美国拳坛。那好，现在已经开始了今天的第1场比赛。穿着红色裤子的就是咱们2.13米的董建军，另一边红方选手这个又黑又胖的这个家伙叫做华盛顿，这个名起得非常的硬啊，叫做华盛顿。那这场比赛我们来期待一下双方选手会带来怎样的精彩表现。
Tyshawn from Beijing, now living in Glendale, California, is just so massive. You're right, turn around. You mentioned we were talking to Buddy McGirt in the fighter meetings, but he said I have to teach him everything. It's almost like an 8-year-old walking in, learning to fight for the first time. Well, because Tyshawn has no amateur background experience in boxing. There's a solid mountain.
Well, and he's named after a mountain, Tyshawn.
那现在董建军的身高和体型上是有优势的。那虽然说华盛顿长得很胖，但是一点实力都发挥不出来。在董建军面前，他就像一个新兵蛋子。
Child here and training with Buddy McGirt in Burbank, which for those of you around the nation don't know, that is basically right next door to each other. So he can train and go home to mama.
To put this in perspective, Tyshawn wears a size 18-foot shoe and 22-ounce gloves that were custom ordered for him. The headgear was custom ordered for him. The story goes that he went for his first physical. Doctor asked him if he had ever had a concussion. He said, "No, I've never been hit in my head. Nobody's ever reached."
现在华盛顿依旧是步步后退，一点想打的欲望都没有。那看这种情况下，董建军赢得比赛只是时间的问题了。
Hopes he's learned some lessons from that. Is looking to make something of his life while they still
那他叫罗兹曼啊，曾经是这个美国特种部队的一个队员，作战能力相当的强悍，而且这个体能更是强得恐怖。那这场比赛董建军会如何应对呢？让我们一起拭目以待。
Is he going to get in the chest of Tyshawn, or he's going to be all the way out? Because you don't want to stand at that exact point where Tyshawn can get all the leverage on his shots.
Well, he talked a lot in our fighter meeting that watching tape he saw of Tyshawn, he felt like he opens up. He wanted to work his body, get on the inside of him. But he realizes that Tyshawn has tremendous knockout power.
那很明显，罗兹曼要比前2名选手抗打得多，那他也是美国官方的底牌了。
Also looks out of breath and tired. Let's see how much longer he lasts here.
He is definitely sucking wind here in the second round. Almost at the halfway point. Again, another jab that drops him back, and he goes. He calls that one a push.
I don't know if that was a push. That looked like 2 shots landed there. Let's see what happens now. Rawson might have been able to use that break. Let's see.
Rousman just coming forward, pressing the action here in round 2.
That's his best.
那现在的罗兹曼真的是已经彻底疯狂啊，已经不在乎自己的拳法是什么样的了，反正就是能打到董建军就行。那不过这么打的后果就是代表他的破绽非常多，被打到现在已经有些要不行了，还剩下1分多钟。那现在这个情况，看一下董建军能不能 KO 掉罗兹曼。好的，我们刚刚说完呢，这次倒地罗兹曼就起不来了。 连续的3场比赛，董建军都是非常精彩的拿下了比赛的胜利。最后，让我们一起恭喜董建军获得了本场比赛的胜利。那大家觉得董建军打得精不精彩，好不好看呢？欢迎在评论区留言和讨论。本期视频到此结束，观众朋友们，让我们下一期再见。